And let's see now. We are live, everyone. How are we all doing? Benidorm Fest has just finished its first semi-final. We have the first 4 songs in the final, and I am joined by the lovely Samuele and Rubén from Spain himself, to talk about the 4 qualifiers for this semi-final. Rubén, Samuele, how are you both doing?
I'm nice. Quite happy to have Benidorm back this year. What about you, Samuele?
I can you hear me? Everything
Yes,
is
we
Yep.
can hear
good.
you. Yeah.
Great. I think I'm kind of happy that the Benidorm is back. I actually take this as the first real national final for Eurovision that I watch entirely. So for me, it's just the beginning of the Eurovision year starts now. Not taking anything from, I don't know, Luxembourg Song Contest or FIC, but for me, Benidorm is is my first
Yeah.
confrontation with a new Eurovision season. So for me,
It's the first big
it's
one
just
for you.
amazing. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fair. But we will obviously cover all of the songs in great detail that qualified. But just as a quick starting point, I suppose the 4 songs that did qualify for the final I'll do them in running order. We don't know the full results, but it is Cueve with Loca XTI. Ruben, you feel free to correct my pronunciation at any point during this video.
Loca por ti. But yeah,
Yep. Lucas Pan, te escribo en el cielo.
10 out of 10. Perfect.
Yep. La Chispa, La Lita de Lola. And
I'd say you passed the exam.
I passed. And Daniela Blasco Unana. I can do that one. I can
Yeah,
do.
that
I
one
can
is
do
okay.
Unana. We will get into all of those in more detail and our overall thoughts on the qualifier. But first, let's look at some of the comments. The cheese cheesecake goes Zora Zora Zora. To clarify, that is one of my friends who knew I was doing this live, so decided to put the name of my favorite song in the chat. Thank you very much.
The cheesecake.
That's not its actual name, Samuele, to clarify. But it's
Was it no? Was it like Belarus 2015?
2014.
2014. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing song.
Was it
I
cheesecake,
mean,
right?
it qualified for the final, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Rye Bailey, a regular of this chat. Hello, Rye
Hi,
Bailey.
Riley.
Hi, La Chispa is my favorite. The live performance were bad. We will get onto La Chispa.
We are gonna go with that, yeah.
Jazzy, another one of my friends. Justice for Sonia and Selena. We'll talk about her as well. Lee Fern, very happy with the results as we can tell. He wanted Sonia and Selena. Silly juries. They are very silly, those juries, aren't they? Hannah Lou was a comment. La Chispa's vocal is and I am flattered. You will have to take this up with my girlfriend though, Hannah, but thank you very much. And then Neil Ella, awful semi-final. I voted for Sonia and Selena because of the early noughties camp fun. Fair enough. I'm assuming you're joining us from Spain. Welcome. Glad you were joining us after the show. Guys, if you got any comments from this show, general comments, or if we're talking about a specific song, feel free to leave them on that. Let us know. We will get to you throughout this stream. So I think just go in running order because we don't know the order of how these finished. Let's start with the first qualifier, which is Cueve with Loca XTI, the opener of Benidorm Fest. So, Samuele, what were your thoughts on this one making it through to Saturday's show?
Honestly, I think that out of the 8 songs that we had tonight, mm, nothing really stand out. I think personally, this because I had really high expectations on some songs that were not met actually, but I didn't have any expectations for her because her song was like went low on my radar. Um, so I was quite impressed with the production and the staging concept. It was quite a straightforward, simple concept for a pop song, but I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Of course, I think that still Benidorm has this kind of big problem with audio, that you cannot really hear well the voices of the singers. But in general, she sounded quite good. The song is not impactful. So for me, it's not a contender for the win or for either representing Spain in Eurovision. It's just a nice pop song. The staging was cured well enough, and the singers were okay. I got the reference from Ukraine 2024 in Eurovision, like the LED wall, the LED floor. It was really similar to Ukraine last year. But yeah, I think it was decent enough to earn a spot for the final. And I think, yeah, well, it will not arrive, like it will not get top three or top four. Maybe it will be. I think it will be in the lower part of the grand final, in the final in the final results. But I think it is enjoyable, and she was worth the pass for the final.
Fair enough. Ruben, over to you. What are your thoughts on Queve?
Yeah, my thoughts are quite similar to Samuel's thoughts. I think it's an okay song. When the songs were dropped, I liked it, but I was not like wowed. I mean, I just was okay with it. And the fact that I think that helped her for going to the final was first of all the running order. I think it was good for her to open the show because after her there was a couple of songs which were not like fan favorite, so I think this could have helped. And also I think the stage, it was simple but it was effective, I think. So these are my points for this song, and I think it deserves a spot in the final. And I also think that it helped that she's from a region in Spain where people are like very passionate, and I think maybe they voted for her. It's actually the same region where Ruth Lorenzo lives, so I mean she's from her, so from there. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, obviously that did get the top four in both the jury and the televote. Guys, any comments on Queve, please let us know down in there. We will get to you throughout this video. In terms of my thoughts, I would say staging, song. Actually,
Yeah.
no, songs
Yeah.
more down
Kind of.
here.
I think
I never was a massive fan of this song. The chorus bugged me. It was a build up to nothing. There was no drop after it, even though it sounded like there was a drop. It felt a bit mid for me. The staging itself, I thought, was for the most part quite slick, quite well performed. The vocals were decent enough. I'm not a massive fan of the end. I audibly said we're one song in and we've already got nudity at Benidorm Fest. Of course, that's the case. It's like, yeah, got to appeal to those fans at some point, haven't you? But aside from that bit at the end, which was it needed? I don't think so. I thought it was solid enough as a performance. Fair enough. I can see it in the I can understand why I got to the final. I'm a bit like you, Samuel. I can't see this doing much in the final at all.
No.
It'll be in the bottom half. I would say maybe not contend to last because it did get top four with
No,
both.
I don't think it will be last.
Don't say too quickly, Ruben. We still got to complete the lineup, but that's not going to get clipped at all, is it? No, but you know what? I can not necessarily from a song perspective because I think it's quite weak, but from a performance perspective, I can understand. Let's go to the comments. Hannah said Queve was quite decent. Ellen Hanwright, welcome. The benefits of being an Aussie. It's 10 a.m. It started. Lucky you. I am 2 minutes away from it being Wednesday, and Samuele and Ruben are already in. Already in Wednesday.
We are preparing for what is going to happen in 2 weeks. So it's okay.
I was going to say, Samuele, you're warming up for San Remo at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a nice warm up.
It's a nice warm up, yeah. Right, Bailey, it was okay in a woeful semi. Yeah, well, he clearly didn't like the semi. But any other comments here? Blanca Paloma was a good vote. No, this is on. This is on a different one. Yeah, I will quickly say hello to some other people that are just joining us a bit later. Gonna pronounce Ruben. Pronounce this one, please.
Buenas mi niño.
Thank you.
It's I mean it means hey my boy, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get on to last heat, but I think very soon actually. And then Seba AG, welcome to the chat. He's so sad for Sonia and Selena. I was gonna do this in order of running order, but I think just from the fact that there were 3 songs that got voted in the top 4 in the jury and the televote, let's do those 3 first and then get on to the final one. So up next, that would be La Chispa. So, guys, get in your comments on La Chispa in the comments. Well, in the comments. Get your comments in the comments. Easy enough. You know how YouTube works. So I would say out of the 8 songs, I'm pretty sure this was the clear favorite amongst the fans out of the 8 songs in the semi-final. Wasn't even really close from a studio perspective. The live performance happened. She is in the final. So got to give her credit there. Rubén, we're starting with you though. Was this lived up to the hype of La Chispa? She was first in the odds before this show, after all.
I'm talking personally.
Yep.
I liked the song before the show, but I was not like the biggest fan of it. Even if I'm from the south part from Spain, which is the same region as La Chispa. I mean, of La Chispa, and it's like Andalusia, that's it. And it's a very typical like sound from here, like flamenco, this kind of saeta, which is typically played in Easter. And although I like it and I appreciate her vocals and everything, I think she was so nervous in the performance, and she couldn't like manage her emotions to make the best performance at all. But I think the stage concept was quite nice with all these mirrors. I think there was something like a thought on this. It was not like random things on the stage. I think it was a nice artwork, but it has to be a bit polished, in my opinion. Like they have to turn it around a little bit and also work a bit on her vocals. But with this setup, I think it could do quite decently if this goes to Eurovision. But I'm not sure. I mean, I was not wowed. I think it was just okay, but I was not like wowed, which was something that I think some people expected. There were some people like expected this to be like the real contender for the win or something like that. I didn't feel like this winner vibe here, but it's my opinion.
That's fair. Samuele, were you one of the people that were potentially expecting a winner vibe from La Chispa? And
it was my favorite. Actually, it is song-wise, it is still my favorite for Spain. I think it's just that type of song that can be appealing to pretty much, like if it's done correctly, it can be appealing to everybody. If it's not done correctly, it's just screaming. And this doesn't work in Eurovision as we saw it 2 years ago. But and there, Blanca Paloma was not screaming at all. She was singing perfectly.
She was pitch perfect.
She was perfect. So
yeah.
The thing is that I don't personally get the connection between what Blanca Paloma did in 2023 and what La Chispa is doing right now. Honestly, I am really pissed of those comments that, oh, La Chispa is not going to do well in Eurovision because it's flamenco.
No.
This is nonsense. It's just nonsense. And first of all, it's not flamenco 100%. It's just like a part of it that to foreign ears maybe sounds flamenco, but it's plain modern Spanish music because you can hear this kind of music from Spanish artists, but also from Latin artists as well. Look at what Rosalía is doing. Actually, La Chispa is from Rosalia's team. She's a vocalist for Rosalía. So she's doing something that is quite enjoyable to listen from, like for everybody in Europe, because everybody listens to Latin music and to Rosalía. So it's something that can actually be liked. The fact is that this is really difficult to execute live. I mean, I can get the reference to flamenco because the way of singing is quite similar. It has that references to flamenco. I'm not saying it's flamenco. I say that as some references to it, to the cultural environment in which flamenco and developed. So I think that it is really difficult to sing. First of all, we were expecting something really good because we all saw that TikTok in which La Chispa was sung it perfectly, but she was not in Benidorm. She was not on stage. She was not surrounded by scenography and the dancers. She was just alone in a rehearsing environment, and she was just in front of her telephone. So I just think that this night was horrendous for her, like really bad. Maybe she had also in-ear problems because apparently a lot of artists also last year lamented that they had in-ear problems. Maybe that is a reason why, but this is not understandable. Like we know that she can sing well, but that was not singing, that was screaming. So I am afraid that they need like La Chispa and her team. I'm just trying to, envision it with a respective to Eurovision and in a technical way. So La Chispa and her team, for me, they have to watch the
Performance.
performance again from scratch and just point out what didn't happen, what didn't work out, and just say, okay, from here we need to rehearse, and again for this 4 years, for these 4 days, we need to rehearse again. I'm sorry.
There's a
For
big
this,
gap
Yeah,
between
it's
the
the same.
semis and the
exactly.
final. There's
They
a
need
big gap.
they need to rehearse for 4 days straight without actually touching her own vocal cords, just rehearsing and trying to get that pitch perfect that defines what the song is and and differentiates it from singing and screaming. I don't know if I was
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah, the thing is that in this type of sing in flamenco, it's I mean, or it's like it's not fully flamenco. It's what you said, but in this kind of thing, a traditional sound, it's like you have to be very, very pitch perfect. And if you're a little bit out of tune, it just it sounds awful because in a harmonical point of view, it's just, I mean, I study a bit of music and I know a bit what I'm talking about. And there's a bit, and there's like some progression, harmonic progression, and this kind of scales when you play this kind of music. And if you're just quarter of tone out, it's just over.
Yeah, because you
You're
can you
you're
can
done.
you can
Yeah.
you can instantly recognize that something is not
Yeah.
working
I
out
mean, even if you don't
instantly.
understand music, it's like it sounds awful. It doesn't. And yeah, I'm very sad for her because I know it's difficult and I know she's trying. So it's just like you said, just keep on trying, keep on rehearsing, and let's see what happens on Saturday.
She was also really emotional this
Yeah,
because
maybe too
you could
much.
see it. Yeah, you could see that she was really emotional. I would not like to see a Fusa Nocta 2.0 happening. So
Yeah,
honestly, I would like to see her much more,
yeah. I mean,
casual, much more
not
like with
all.
emotion, because
Yeah,
this song is Artita de Llorar is full of emotions, but emotions like well placed.
not
Um,
uncontrolled.
yeah, exactly. Because this is honestly, if this is executed well, the staging is. I
It's
was
nice.
like from what I heard online and what I read online, Spanish journalists were saying it was atrocious. For me, it
No,
was quite fine. I was not expecting something like this. I was expecting something more traditional, but actually, it was quite original. I would say also the dancers, the moves in the mirrors created like the Benidorm stage this year is really big. So I was scared that many acts could result, empty,
yeah,
but with the effect of the on the mirrors, it resulted quite full in general. So this is I think that this is Eurovision ready. They just need to work out this issue with the screaming, because this is intolerable to listen.
yeah. It gets you out of the song, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But what
but
about you, Harry? What do you think?
I mean, you pretty much covered a lot of that, to be honest.
Yeah,
You've
I
covered.
think so.
Yeah, staging, I think, is there in terms of it's a workable concept for the Eurovision stage. You need it to go there. Yeah, it's just about the vocals at the moment, which is it's a real
Mhm.
shame because going into the semi-final, sorry to be blunt about the the other 7 songs. Semi-final one for me was La Chispa and 7 other songs. I like this was the standout one for
Yeah.
me in terms of this lineup. A lot of my other favorites are in semi two on Thursday,
Mm.
and it's a real shame that from a staging perspective, it didn't let me down. From a vocal perspective, it did let me down slightly.
Yeah.
But there's time to improve. She's in the final. It didn't affect her tonight. So let's see what the impact is on Saturday. And we don't know. She still could have won the semi-final for all we know, with the impact of the song. So we don't know what the effect is. Let's go to some comments here. Rich, there we go. He's in that. He's on now. La Chispa has the best song of the contest, but I think she had a problem with it in it. Yeah, someone I was talking about earlier. That is possible. She was slightly sharp. The staging needs work, but she has the most potential in Basel. I do agree. I do
I
agree from a
agree.
song perspective. It has the highest ceiling, and also by far it's the most original in the Benidorm Fest lineup. The Cheesecake says La Chispa had an amazing staging concept. The vocals were not there live, sadly. Vincent F, a regular viewer of the Eurovox channel, welcome back. La Chispa performed the song the way it was intended. It was an emotional song, and she was emotional. I understand that, Vincent, but it still needs to. The problem is when the vocals sound like that, it can turn not audibly pleasing. And you don't want to do that with vocals in particular when it's a singing contest or not a singing contest, a song contest, but singing is a key part of that. Florin, welcome to the chat. Can't wait for the semi-final too. My favorites are now Jacobello, Daniela, which we'll talk about very soon, and Melody. There's some good songs in there. I'm looking forward to Melody on Thursday night. Ellen saying, I did really like the staging though, love the concept. Yeah, I think we are all in agreement about the concept. Eric Gomez S. Blanca Paloma was an amazing vocalist. If you compare, this is just screaming. Yep, tonight, sadly, that was the case.
This is the case for tonight. Not for tonight, yes. For the song itself,
yeah, maybe it was just a bad run she had today. Like we don't know.
Yes, and Rye Bailey saying she does need 4 years to be fair. Well, we don't know. Yeah. Maybe 4 days is more than enough. In some ways, it might have been best that she was performing in semi-final 1 because she does now have more time than if she qualified from semi-final 2 where she'd only have 2 days. Let's move on from La Chispa and move on to the final qualifier that both ranked in the top 4 in both the jury and the televote. I have to say, the way that Spain did the results, where it was like, these are the 3 that got both, really put the drama out for these 3 qualifiers. Like, I think these 3 are in, guys. But the final one was Daniela Blasco with Únase, the closer of this evening. And Rubén, someone's watched Chanel from 2022, haven't they?
Oh, what, sorry?
Someone's watched Chanel. Someone has watched Chanel from 2022, haven't they?
Sure. For sure. But do you want me to compare it or not?
You know what? I can do that if you want. You just do your thoughts on Daniela if you prefer.
Okay, when the sound dropped, I thought it was a nice sound, an actual sound. I liked it. But I had an issue with too many parts of the song. Like there was the first minute was something different than the second minute, and then you have this sped up at the end. So it was a bit like, what is happening here? Like
chaotic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in not a bad way. Like I was not like freaked out, like, oh, this is awful. But I needed more listens to get a bit the song. And I think once you see it in the stage, okay, she feels amazing in the stage. Her stage presence is perfect. I think it's not the first time that she's on stage, and she dances extremely well, in my opinion. But the point here is that okay, you have also to sing, and if you compare it to Chanel, she was singing a lot more than Daniela is doing, in my opinion.
Now, Rubén, that's harsh. She was singing. Whether it was good singing, we will get on to. That's another question.
Maybe she was singing, but maybe it was a bit of sound issues, like Samuel said, and we were not able to hear her. But okay, even if she was singing, it was not. That.
No, you're right. She didn't sing 50% of the song. 50% of the song was
in the
backing
version,
vocals.
Yeah. For example, this Nana, she was just dancing, and then in the estamos pegados como chicle, and then there she was singing, but it depending on the part. I don't know. I liked it a lot, but I think if she goes to Basel, she has to work a lot on the vocals, in my opinion.
On the vocals.
That's what I felt. But overall, I think it was a deserved final for her. I think she should pass away. Yeah, she should pass away, not pass away.
She should not pass away. She shouldn't pass away. She should go to the final. Yes. Guys in the comments, make sure to guys in the comments, make sure to get your comments on Daniela Blasco. We will come to them very soon. But first, Samuele, your thoughts on Únase?
The song is bad, in my opinion.
Okay,
it's really bad.
Don't mince your words, Samuele. Just say it how it is.
No, the song is just for me is just like I heard people comparing it to Chanel itself, like positively. where? I mean, Chanel had is like the song was already good by its own, and she elevated it with the performance. I don't want to be harsh. The performance was quite good, but I was expecting something wow. Like if you need to elevate the song, you, you need to elevate the song in a good way. I mean, I think that it was just a cool concept. It was really, really Beyonce like, you know. But the fact is that also the dance break, it was quite flat for me. It was just TikTok moves, if we want to be honest. In general, the chorus was good. She danced all through the song, but she didn't actually sing 50% of the song, as we were saying before. I see a lot of people talking about this as, oh my God, top 10 in Eurovision, top 5 in Eurovision. She's the next Chanel. She's good for Spain. Do we want to go with that? I don't know. Like she was
I know
really, I
certain
don't know.
members of the audience. I know certain members of the audience would like to go with that. To be fair, Samuele.
No, I
I know.
mean, yes, 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 of course. Like a lot of people just see it as we did good with Chanel, maybe we can do it good with Daniela Blasco,
I
okay?
think that's not
But
a good
but this
point.
is not the case. I
Uh,
mean, Chanel was perfect.
Chanel
Like
was
on
Chanel.
Chanel was perfect on every single thing. Like I remember watching the semifinal in which she competed for the first time. I was in my really small apartment, and I saw her, and I screamed out. Everybody saw me. Everybody heard me screaming because it was mouth blowing. You know, this one was okay. Nice bop, nice choreography, but
Yeah,
what? You know,
Yeah.
I'm expecting, I don't know, I'm expecting more from Bésame on Thursday than this one.
let's see. Let's
I
see.
don't
I
know.
think she has
Yeah.
another concept, in my opinion. But
She has,
let's see.
I think she has a concept of like a rodeo and cowboys. I expected something like that. But also the song is more intriguing for me. The electronic parts of Bésame are more intriguing me than Unana. That Unana, it's for me, is a TikTok song. I imagine it as a TikTok song. So right now I cannot remove it. Maybe it's me that I
Yeah.
cannot.
I mean, that's
I
fair.
just
That's
think
fair.
I
Yeah,
think it's a good song, like a meh song, a very meh song with a good concept on stage. So results in a 6 for me. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
think that's
and a very
fair.
good
With
dancer.
a very good dancer, I can't dispute that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, she was born as a dancer. I think, like
she
her
was
career.
she just opened. She
No,
came out of the womb and started doing.
I mean,
Just go.
In Italian, we say
Hello.
she, like in her artistic life, she was born as a dancer.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
mean, you get what I mean. So
I
I
know
think,
what you mean, Samuel. I know
oh,
what
no,
you mean.
okay, great, thank you.
That's fine. With this, was full of energy. I did quite like the gold theme. I think that helped it pop up. Yeah, the actual song itself is a bit messy and chaotic. I sort of lost interest in the actual song itself by the second verse. It felt quite long. I feel like that. Yeah, the dance moves and just everything encapsulating helped. The problem with the vocals is because I'll come to a comment in here that says it's a show, not a singing contest. When you notice the vocals aren't great, because sometimes people will say after, oh, the vocals aren't great, and then I'm like, oh, thought they were fine.
Good point.
But it's when you notice they're not good, that becomes a problem, and it's more the case of like when you say the vocals aren't great, then all of a sudden there's a room for improvement. So us mentioning the vocals is not necessarily a massive slight. Like it could still go to Eurovision, it could still win. We don't know what Benidorm is going to send. To clarify, not win Eurovision. I don't think this will win Eurovision, but like
Okay.
could win Benidorm Fest. To clarify my point, but like there's room for improvement. We can all of a sudden now say, right, there's the gap there. How do we get to here? Vocals. But
It's
I
same
think
with
it's
La Chispa.
yes,
Same case.
exactly. I think it was solid
But it's
enough. It was
also true.
probably
It's also true. Sorry, it's also true that in the last years of Eurovision, nobody that sung bad won Eurovision. So it means
100%.
it is a
Yeah,
song contest, but the song is sung by someone that needs to sing or rap good. I mean,
And the jury is there because of something. Like
exactly. Like last year, we had a guy or a non-binary person that knew how to sing and rap good. For
yeah,
amazing.
example,
absolutely.
exactly. Like I mean. you need to sing good if you are in a song contest. Of course, it's a show as well, and in these years we have more show than singing, I think. But in the end, it's a song contest. So a song wins, and somebody that sings it wins.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I would
so I
say
mean,
I'd say overall Daniela, solid stage performance, definitely a deserving finalist out of the lineup
yeah,
today.
I
I
mean,
would
yeah.
say though, it feels like something for me personally that we've seen a few times before and not the best version of it. Let's have a look at some more comments on Daniela. Rich is saying Daniela has a mess on with good staging, so what you were saying earlier, Samuele. She doesn't have a good vocal range. She doesn't have the vocal range of Chanel, but this could come left side in Basel. I don't think she would make it to Eurovision though. Ry Bailey saying she was the best of the night in her opinion. Hannah Lou with a decent point. Is the most watchable. I think that's fair. I think that you could make a case that it was the most watchable performance.
Yeah, I think the vocals were not that. How can I say? It was not with. I mean, if you compare it to La Chispa, in La Chispa's case, it was like I don't even like what I'm hearing. Here it was like okay, you couldn't hear her a lot, but it was not like okay. I mean, you could.
If I cannot hear it, I can watch it.
That's fair.
That's it.
That's fair. And then Ry Bailey putting a point out of why some people voted for her. But that's
okay.
We've got to think about the audience here,
I'll
Ruben.
give you
We've got to think about the audience. Bianca saying Daniela was the best of the night for me. Eurovision is so not a singing contest. This is what I was saying earlier. I completely agree, but vocals can help to an extent improve your score. It doesn't necessarily help you get there, but it can improve. I mean, we showed that. I mean, last year's Benidorm Fest winner showed you don't necessarily have to have good vocals to win Benidorm Fest, but that's my sort of rant over for the time being. Let's move on to the final song. That
Let's not remind this to you, Harry.
Yeah, you are in your own fight with.
I would like to win. I would like
like...
to like Spain's song this year. That's all I'm saying. But the final qualifier this evening. This is the only one where it didn't get into the top 4 in both categories. This got into the top 4 in the jury, but not the televote. This was Lucas Ban with Te Escribo en el Cielo. Congrats, we got a male in the final. It wasn't all women that got in. We got one male, Lucas Ban, with his song Samuele. So this is quite a comparison here. So on one hand, we don't know where it came in the televote. Could have been 5th, but it didn't get into top 4. Overall, do you agree with more the televote or the jury on this one?
I actually agree 100% with the juries here. I love Sonia and Selena because it was camp, it was mothers, it was Spanish divas, 100%. But it was not for the final. I mean, if we want to be honest, I vibe with that. They were mothers. They were. I don't know. It was as the Spanish say, micrófono apagado y.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Y coño bien encendido, but I will not translate it. It is quite rude.
Okay.
Spanish
so
microphone off, female body part on. It would just that.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah.
But yeah, Lucas was, I think, the best of the night. Honestly, great vocals. Finally, somebody that sung it well all through the song. Actually, the song it wasn't under my radar for a long time, but it is actually the only good ballad. Like I mean, maybe the only ballad. I don't know which other ballads.
There's a couple in semi too.
There are not a lot of ballads this year. Yeah,
I know Henry's in
Henry
Soundler. We can scrap it, but this one was really good. I mean, this one could do good also in, I don't know, in 10 years ago in Sanremo maybe. Or maybe this year as well, because I heard some rumors that we have a lot of ballads this year. But
a lot of ballads in Sanremo.
Really? Oh, not something usual.
Well, last year we didn't have a lot.
Yeah, that was a gap year.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great ballad sung by a good voice. The staging was quite simple but effective with the blue and the LEDs behind. There were good graphics. Right now, I don't really remember it quite well, but I remember it was elevating the song quite a lot. I really like the lighting. The lights were quite done pretty well. I don't have anything negative to say about it. Of
Yep.
course, it was not a mind-blowing ballad. If I have it to compare it with the ballads that Italy sent, for example, it was not at that height, but I would not be mad if this comes top 3 or top 4, because this one was a good performance. It was well staged and well sung. So
Yeah.
I don't have anything
Ruben,
negative.
over to you. And since Samuele touched on it as well, you can answer that question: do you agree with televote or jury more? You can also touch upon the person that just missed out, with the act that just missed out, but that got top 4 in the televote in Sonia and Selena. Feel free to touch upon both. But yeah, eventually, what are your thoughts on Lucas Ban?
I have to very agree with Samuel and also with the jury. And I personally have to admit that I voted for him for various reasons. One of them is that I knew that he needed the help from the public because I knew there were a lot of La Chispa and Daniela supporters, and I strongly think that he needed the final, like he deserved it. So that's why I voted for him. This is something. And I also voted for him because when I saw the performance, it was the only performance in the night that made me feel like, oh wow, this is like I can actually see this at Eurovision. I don't know if it feels like top or bottom 5. I don't really care. But once I see it, I think like,
This was not come bottom 5 in Eurovision, I think.
yeah, I don't think so.
I
It could
hard
be like
take,
the
but this was not
typical ballad mid-table. I don't know. I guess.
mid-table, exactly. It
Yeah,
would do
and
mid-table.
yeah, because it could be top 10 with juries easily, and like maybe bottom 5 with televoters because okay, televoters are how they are, but with ballads. But no, I mean, I think it was a very good performance. He elevated it with his vocals, absolutely, and also in the staging performance, this kind of like a circle
Circle, yeah.
in the background. I loved like the effect that created. I just think when I saw it, I thought like, okay, this is well thought. This is like they have done something through the months they had when being selected, and they have thought well what to do, and they transmit it to the stage in a perfect way. So if this becomes a representative for Eurovision, I will be totally happy. And also I want because the last like normal ballad we had, it was I don't know when, Blast maybe. Yeah, it was Blast, I think. And I
Yeah,
think
Blas
ballad
Canto.
is way better than Blast ballad in my opinion.
But if I may add just one thing, ballads do well in Eurovision if they are done
Yeah,
good.
and especially
We have
now that you only have televote in semifinals.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
It's true.
I'd agree there. With I'm in agreement that I believe Lucas Ban had a better performance than maybe Sonia and Selena. The thing is with Sonia and Selena, I actually quite liked I actually quite liked their performance. You know what? After like a few songs which didn't which were like, as someone that if I was in your time zone, I would have struggled to stay awake for them. At least Sonia and Selena woke me up a bit, you know.
Yeah, I
Like it
mean,
was entertaining as hell. The downside is, look, I love the color scheme of pink and green blatantly ripping off Wicked, but girls, you are
Mm.
no Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande with your vocals. They were horrible. They weren't good
Boy,
at all.
I mean, they
exactly.
are actually retired. I mean, I'm Spanish. I can tell that they have not sung together since their last hit 20 years ago.
Oh, well, that you know what? It was fantastic to have them back then
Yeah,
together on stage.
Mhm.
About 10,000 plastic surgeries later for one of them, but you know, good for her for returning. But that's yeah, I would have minded that in the final. I think I would have had that in over Cueve personally, but that's a different issue. Lucas Ban himself, yeah, in terms of vocals, best of the night. I love the lighting effects. I especially love the blue light coming from the side.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
That one.
lovely. The overall feeling was nice. I would say it's not an issue, but it could be a discussion point with Lucas Ban. I do not necessarily remember the song itself after this performance and
yeah.
like the melody. I just remember the
Uh,
feeling I had when
you
I
don't have a
watched
hook.
it.
You don't have yeah.
Exactly, but I remember the feeling. Now, is a feeling more powerful for voters than a hook? I suppose that's a question we are going to be asking ourselves on Saturday potentially. For the juries, I think juries put this in the top 2 at least.
I think
For sure.
it won the night for the juries.
Potentially. I mean,
Yeah.
the only reason I'd hesitate is because Nebulosa won jury votes with them, so I'm not 100% confident on their ability to rank juries. But you know, it should be high enough.
Harry, you know, you can always compare everything to Nebulosa. You are
I
doing
can.
it all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can. Yeah. Yep. I can.
Yeah.
Especially, look, so Pedro and Angie were in that year, Rubén. I can easily compare Nebulosa as much as I want.
Let's not go back to there because you are in a minority here, Harry, with me and Ruben.
I was right. I said it would flop, and I was right. But
And
anyway.
it flopped, but it was the party of Europe that
was.
night. It was the party of Europe.
It was
And I
like
actually
it was
think
like the
it
fifth
was
biggest party at
it was
best.
closer than we think from getting a decent result. There were many countries in which it was like 13th, 14th in the televote.
Oh well,
Yeah.
not good enough. But anyway, on to Lucas. I can. On to Lucas. He was fantastic. Glad to see
Let's
him
not talk
in the
about the
final.
UK here, Harry, please. Yeah.
We finished above Zora. We finished above
Ah,
Zora.
one time. One time.
Once in a lifetime.
But once in a lifetime is true.
Look, I'm not on any. I'm not on any more Benidorm Fest lives this week. I
I'm
need
so
to get my
sorry.
Zora
We
ranks
are.
out.
I reminded myself right now that we are all from from Big Five countries, but the only Big Five country that is good is
All
from
right, now.
where I'm from.
Yeah, I remember you were the
Bella
second.
Italia.
I remember you came second out of the Big Five countries behind France. I remember that specifically,
Mm.
Samuele. But let's go to some
With
comments
your
on-
winner, with your winner. I mean,
But you had something.
with your
Samuele,
winner.
you had a broken song.
Oh my god, again.
Anyway, let's go to some
Sorry.
comments on David before this completely unravels. Because look at the time. It's some comments here. Bianca saying they really wanted a male in the final. You know what? Sorry, let's actually have some diversity in the genders in the final, and he deserved to be in the final. So who cares?
No, we're
Ryan
gonna have
Bailey-
most surely another male. So
Oh yeah, there will be.
at least
There will
two.
be.
Yeah.
Who's in there? I'd say definitely one. There's only 3 males in the second semi-final, so
Yeah, for one, the Italian one, please. No, the other one, che bello.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Jacob Ella
Yeah,
will be.
J. Cabello. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jota Cabellos.
Yeah.
For
Jorge
me,
Gonzalez to
Jota
Jose
che bello.
Ryan Bailey saying Lucas Ban was boring and dated. Hannah saying Lucas sounded like Sanremo 1978.
More like Sanremo 2010, like 2011, something
Yeah,
like
that I can see. Rich saying Lucas Ban absolutely deserved to qualify. I suspect he won the jury. I wasn't sold on the studio version, but he demonstrated how Benidorm Fest can elevate a song when it hits the stage. That's absolutely true. So many songs get elevated as soon as they get sent to Benidorm Fest. Right, Bailey, actually, on the topic of UK, I heard the UK selling about it. Good. I don't want us to appeal to the stereotypical Euro club goers for 3 years in a row. Send a ballad and actually try and do well in the contest for once.
Yeah, but a good ballad.
Oh, a good ballad. Yeah, absolutely a good ballad. But, you know, rather than appeal to Eurovision stereotypes, let's actually try and compete in the contest this year. Neil Era saying televotes do vote for a male ballad if it's great and well performed. Slimane on men really own it. Absolutely. Rich saying Sonia and Selena were high camp. They can't sing, but the performance was joy to watch. That is exactly my thoughts. They can't sing to save their life, but it was a joy to watch. In terms of the remaining songs, we have 3 that we haven't really discussed. We've got David Alfonso, Chica, and Kingdom. They're the only ones that didn't get top 4 in either. I suppose, I mean, just quickly here, because we're nearing the 45-minute mark. Any comments you wanted to say on these? If not, you can just say pass. Samuele, we'll start with you.
I will be really fast. Chica Sobresalto, really good lyrics. Actually, the best of the night. For the message of feminism and empowerment, of course. I get the criticism that it was like a I Mama wannabe, so Rigoberta Bandini wannabe. I don't see it, but I mean, you are free to do it. It was a nice staging, a nice concept, but clearly not enough. The song was great in the verses. I already I said it to other members of Eurovox. The song was great in verses, but when you arrive to the chorus, you are expecting something that doesn't arrive. So it is, honestly, for me, it's a little bit sad that she didn't pass, but it was what it was. Then we had who? David Afonso, really, really fast to say, a really good looking fella. But the song was what, what it was. Yeah, but really good man. Then we had uh, mostly
Continue,
during the
continue.
second part of the song where he didn't have his camiseta, and then we had who, the
Kingdom.
last one, Kingdom.
Kingdom, yeah.
Also them, they could not sing one note, but the song was quite catchy. I liked it. I think it was the wannabe Noche Ochentera of this year, but you cannot replace Noche
Yeah,
Ochentera. Noche Ochentera
it's
was
difficult.
worth of going to
Samuele,
Eurovision.
Samuele, how many songs that are popular do you want me to rant about this this evening? We've noted Ruben, over to you. Quick thoughts on those three, if any.
Okay,
None.
on David Afonso, I don't really have nothing much to say. As he said, really good looking guy, and the dance moves were nice. The performance was okay, but it was just too average. There was not something really memorable from the performance. And yeah, I think it's just like this. In this kind of contest, you have to do something to the audience, otherwise you don't get votes. But okay, it was nice and pleasant. Chica Sobresalto, best message, best. Also, her chemistry with the dancers was very nice. I liked it, but I think the same thing. It was a bit forgettable for me, and I'm very sad for her because she sings really well and she has a lot of potential with the great song to do good things. Because I know her, I've listened to her albums and in general a lot of her songs,
This is popular in
and
Spain, no?
yeah, she's quite popular. And I also like her music in regular basis. I listen to it, so it's like I mean, another try, please, another year, come back. And who am I? Kingdom, yeah.
Kingdom.
And Kingdom, I love their music. I love their last year song, Confieso. I love Me Gustas too. But the vocals,
Yeah,
the vocals,
that's
she was just too trembling. Like the voice was like, oh, a bit shaky. So yeah, it was a bit of a pity. But if she improves this, I'm totally sold out with them. It's
that,
just amazing.
that's fair. My thoughts on the songs: David Alfonso, solid all round. I'd say solid vocals, solid performance. I wouldn't have been mad if it made the final, but I'm not gutted either. Chica, good. Chica, good message to the song. I found the song boring itself though.
Mhm.
And then Kingdom. Why was Confieso not selected last year for the lineup for
Please,
Benidorm Fest?
please. Maybe because of the
But why
vocals.
was that not selected and this selected? I think this is a massive downgrade on that, sadly, and way more generic. It's a shame because Kingdom last year would have been a lot better. We've got so many comments on here, but we are wrapping up soon, so I'm just going to leave it on this. I'm going to tie it into a comment here from Bianca. Actually, before we do, I'm just going to say apologies. We're not going to get around to your question. Actually, we will. Sarah, you've been in the chat all day. We haven't spoken about you. Are the big five performing in semi-finals? We haven't been confirmed either way, but
I
I
think
mean,
so, yeah.
I
I
guess.
think so, yeah.
And then, but we'll and then Sergio here as well. You've been in the chat. Hello. You thought Kube was the best. So I'm gonna tie in this comment here from Bianca. What do you guys expect from the second semi-final Thursday? So first of all, I'll tie in that comment with answer that, but also suggest we've got the four finalists here from semi-final one. Do you see the winner coming from this semi-final, or do you think it'll be something from what you expect from the second semi-final? It can be a fairly short answer, obviously, due to.
I can answer with 3 words.
Go for it, Ruben.
I hope not.
As in a winner from this first semi-final.
Yeah, I
Fair
hope
enough.
no.
And then Samuele.
I don't have any idea, but I mean, if Jota Cabello nails the performance and La Chispa doesn't do her performance right, maybe we have a male winner.
A male winner at Benidorm Fest. What a
I mean, be careful with Lucas, because if his jury score is quite high, be careful with him.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I would say, what do I expect from a second semi-final? A much better semi-final. In my opinion, this was the worst semi-final in Benidorm Fest history. I think sadly, unless La Chispa improves quite a bit, I see the winner coming from the second semi-final. I don't know who it is. I think there's a few contenders in there. I am gutted. I'm likely going to be watching Greece. I would have really liked these semi-final running orders to swap. I would have preferred to watch semi-final 2 tonight. But yeah, it should be a very fun night. I think there's a lot of good songs in semi-final 2. So if you were slightly disappointed by tonight, hopefully your enthusiasm for Benidorm Fest will improve in semi-final 2. Yes, on my personal note, because I'm not going to be there, I don't think, for the live. Come on, Melody. Come on, Carla, Frigo, and Jacob Bello is also.
Yeah, those three pretty much are the
I root for
contenders.
them also. Yeah.
There's a couple of other songs as well. DeTeresa, I think, is a decent one as well. But
DeTeresa, I forgot about
Oh yeah,
her.
also DeTeresa. Yeah.
There we go. There's our 4 finalists. We've got the 4
Oh, but
finalists.
I also like Celine.
Ruben, no need to complicate it.
Also, Celine Van Heel. My God, La Casa.
I love Celine.
To be fair, that is also a good song. It's a shame one of them is not making the final.
Yeah, one of them is not
that-
making it.
That is the way.
Yeah.
That is the way the
It's
cricket
like-
crumbles. We will see with the stagings on Thursday. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're going to wrap it up there because we are 50 minutes into the stream and it is flipping late. Some of us have work in the morning. But Samuele, Rubén, thank you so much for being here this evening. A lovely pleasure to speak to you. And guys, make sure if you are not already, subscribe to Eurovox so you do not miss any of these lives going forward or any future Eurovision 2025 content where the season is just about to kick into high gear. Our first Super Saturday this is upon us with Spain, with Belgium. Slovenia is also there, but that doesn't matter. And Greece, obviously, as well, we'll be covering on Thursday. So a lot of new entries coming soon, and we will be on top of it all. So that's why you want to subscribe to Eurovox. So that was a voice crack. You can tell it's late. So I hope you guys had a great time in this chat, in this live stream. And Benidorm Fest is well and truly underway. 2 more shows to go before we have our winner from Spain. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care, guys.
Have a good night. Buenas noches.
Good night. Buenas noches.